Hello everyone, welcome to another Chair League cast. Tonight we have a Division 1 match between Sergeant Hammertime and LiT eSports. Now I've never casted either of these teams, and I've casted an LiT squad before, just not the eSports team. I casted their leaf green, I want to say, and we're just setting up the draft right now. I just want to remind everyone I have an extra life campaign going. The stream doesn't take place in a month, but you can donate earlier, you can try and spread the word. But most importantly, please tune in on the 5th to keep me awake. It's gonna be hard, I think, trying to stay awake for 24 hours or more playing games. I am kind of old, so it's gonna be a challenge. Okay, we're just working out issue here. Okay, so anyway, you can check out the info on my page. You can see that I've put up some incentives here for people to donate. It's all for charity, but I figured add some extra incentives, including some there are a couple of coaching sessions you can get with some low MMR players. G is actually on a Division 1 team called 2+1 = team. We saw him play last night. They unfortunately lost, but they usually win, and he's a very good player. So, although he doesn't want me advertising him as a good player. Anyway, so we're gonna get into the draft, hopefully. And let's see if the captains are ready. They are, and our map today is Towers of Doom. This was LiT eSports pick, and we see this one quite a lot in Chair League. I think because it lends itself to specialized strategies, different picks, you can really kind of surprise the other team with a prepared strategy on this map, which doesn't really happen with some of the older maps as well, because, you know, they've been playing them for years, whereas this one hasn't been out quite as long. But that being said, Lost Vikings is banned, which is one of the special heroes that do really well on this map. Medivh is another one. Stitches is very good on this map, so we'll see if any of those come out. Of course, we still have to worry about the power picks like Malfurion. Falstad is still very strong on this map because of his mobility. So we'll see what happens. ETC is a very strange first ban. Of course, with Stage Dive, he does have that mobility that, you know, someone like a Falstad or Brightwing would bring, but he did leave Malfurion in the pool, which, you know, I mean, he was, after his buffs, he's been kind of the de facto first pick. And I think he's still, after his nerfs, have a higher than 50% win rate, so kind of curious that LiT gave it up. LiT stands for Lost in Translation, by the way. It's their community, well, esports community, as you can see. They're just like a website, and they have groups that play games, including Heroes. I think they have other games as well. Not quite sure. I didn't visit it myself. I've just kind of heard. So I think that's a Zarya. The Murky is a Zarya. So Kerrigan. Yeah, okay, so it is a Zarya, just double checking. Hi, Bobo Phytos. I hope I said your name correctly. Okay, so Kerrigan and Zarya. Very powerful combo. Works kind of like why Tassadar would be good for Kerrigan, because you can shield her when she goes in, it buys her time to build her own shields, and it gives her time to reset her combo. She's a very combo-based melee assassin, so of course she needs time to, you know, bladed momentum, even with bladed momentum, to kind of right-click to reset her cooldowns and everything. Yes, McNulty. Yeah, 2+2 equals team captain, right? Yeah, or shot caller at least. She tells me you're the shot caller, so I was discussing with him last week about your calls, about how great they were. So, welcome, yeah. Hope you enjoy the cast. Okay, so Muradin, very stable pick. He's kind of like the vanilla tank right now. Very good in almost all areas. Very good sustain. Can weave in and out of fights to get extra value. Very tanky. Does enough damage to pressure. So very good on this map. Where, you know, if you're trying to delay the altar, you know, you kind of need that sustain. So. And then Tychus. Now, on this map, I think Laser is very good ult here, but Odin with the recent buff is a very, very strong ultimate, so I would be curious to see what Tychus will pick for his heroic, because Laser's major problem is that you can kite away from it. If the other team just chooses to fight away from the laser, just move back a bit, then, you know, your laser does nothing. So, but with these altars, you can't really leave the altar alone. You gotta come in and, you know, do your poke and harass or whatever, and that's when the laser can get value. So, and of course Kerrigan, when she commits, it's very hard for her to disengage. So we'll see which heroic Tychus ends up taking. The second round of bans is Thrall and Tyrael. Thrall is a very good solo laner, so even better than Zagara right now, I would say. So banning him means that they can maybe win a one-on-one lane war. Down bottom usually is where people like to put their solo lanes, I find. And then Tyrael is another great solo laner, but more importantly, combos very well with Kerrigan. So LiT just ends up taking her other buddy, which is Uther. Again, the Divine Shield allows her time to build up her shields, allows her time for her cooldowns to reset for a second combo. If she gets a multi-person combo in one of those chokes, there are chokes kind of on the sides of the altars, then she's going to get a ton of value to a ton of damage, and then Li Ming can get her resets. Li Ming is amazing on this map because of her goaltending potential. She can just keeps... One person cannot capture an altar versus a Li Ming if played properly. So now we see a more lane pressure game coming up from Sergeant Hammer Time. They already have a couple of decent clearers, Tychus and Malfurion, but once again, that is not a Murky pick, that is Zarya. Top Drafter still doesn't have her yet, so... but Sylvanas will put pressure on the lanes. So with Thrall banned out, I wonder who they will get. Now, I personally believe that Sylvanas belongs in a strong multi-person lane, not in a solo lane. So we'll see what happens, because if you put her in a solo lane, she might go even. She might not lose the lane and suffer any tower pressure, but you're not getting full value out of her. You're not getting the tower pressure that you would get from her if you put her in a very strong lane, like a 3-man lane or something, where if she's in a 3-on-1 lane, she's taking down a wall, she might take down a fort. If you put her on a 1-on-1 lane, she's not doing any of that probably. So unless it's really favorable for her. The last pick is Johanna. Once again, put in their lane pressure. They've gone double tank and they've stolen away the Tychus. Now, Leoric is still on the table if they want like a big giant killer. No, they go for Tyrant. This does help their damage, but now they have a solo Zarya front line. I guess, well, with Kerrigan, of course. And their damage now is kind of in bursts with Hunter's Mark. Li Ming, and so they're really kind of banking on that first reset. If they can combo Kerrigan, Tyrande, and Li Ming together, they're going to get their first reset very fast, and then they can try to snowball the fight from there before the Divine Shield even wears off. So we'll see what happens. Now, Kerrigan targets, I mean, she can jump on whoever she wants, but Li Ming can't really follow up past the two frontliners. So we'll see if the Li Ming can find good angles in the fights, and it is hard to say, because I don't think Johanna was a really good pick against this comp. I'm really kind of confused about why it was picked. From Sergeant Hammer Time. Now, I should mention that Sergeant Hammer Time is 1-0 in Division 1, and LiT eSports is 3-2. So Sergeant Hammer Time was just kind of placed into the division, and this is, you know, one of their first games. So, but they did win their first game and are undefeated. Small sample size. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, my worry is just getting that first reset. We'll see if, because like Li Ming can shoot her spells, but like Murden and Johanna's gonna block them, and those aren't your ideal targets for trying to get the reset. So we'll see what happens. It will come down to execution, I think. I think the drafts are close enough that you can't really call a huge draft win from either team. I think just that Johanna is a little awkward. Loxley has seemingly left the game, so I'm going to pause. I will introduce the teams while this is happening. So on Team Sergeant Hammer Time, Don't Hit Tanks, who apparently used to play for another team, is on Sylvanas. Prophylactic is on Murden, Popo on Johanna, Tyrander on Tychus and Malfurion. Oh, sorry, I guess that's Loxley on Malfurion. On the other side, on LiT eSports, Akuma on Zarya, Erlivia on Li Ming, Red Vendel on Uther, Unknown Soul on Kerrigan, and Roses in Hell, nice name, on Tyrande. So, see some chatter here. Let's take a look at any level 1 talents. Oh, you should never, I mean, this is a small optimization point, but there's no benefit to selecting your talents this early. You're just kind of giving your enemy information. So, but we see Siphoning Impact on Kerrigan, which is kind of not the standard on any map other than Tomb and Infernal Shrines, I'd say. So interesting. Some of the fights don't take place that close to lanes. For example, the top altars. So trying to jump onto minions will be awkward for healing. So we're just having some technical difficulties here, as you can see from the chat. Loxley apparently is stuck on the loading screen. And then even on the bottom, it's closer to the lane, but you still depend on whether the creep equilibrium is kind of around. It's certainly not, you know, as close as Tomb of the Spider Queen or something like that, where you're always fighting in lane. So that's a very interesting talent choice. And then Uther went Conjurer's Pursuit, which is okay. I wonder if he's going to go the piano build, which is standard. Yeah, but like she only gets a sustain if she can basically get a minion with her Siphoning Impact. So Okay, so it looks like he's reconnecting. Unfortunately, it is the beginning of the game, so there's not much for us to look at. No deaths, no kills, nothing, no damage. Oh man, all these guys are noobs. And I'll just take this time to remind you guys, if you like the cast, if you want to follow up on some Team League stuff, or Chair League stuff I'm casting next week, stuff like that, please hit the follow button. I also have a YouTube channel where I upload these VODs, and feel free to subscribe there as well. Okay, here we go. Now we get to see some nice Towers of Doom action. This is one of my favorite maps to cast because comebacks happen here more frequently than other maps, and again, they lend themselves to different strategies. Although we didn't see MD for Stitches or anything this game, but we do get to see Zarya, you know. That's something. She wasn't banned. Third Wind, Regeneration Master, Paralysis, Dash. Okay. So we see not quite a West Side Story fight up here because Tyrande actually went bottom. Now she's heading back mid. I find this to be a very strange choice. I mean, she could have just stayed down there and soaked up. Is this Brazil server? It is. Looks like sorry, it looks like the game has put us on a Brazil server, and it's giving a lot of lag to Sergeant Hammer time. So they're requesting a remake. Okay, so we are going to suffer a remake. I'm sorry, guys, for this technical difficulty. This is the first time I've actually had to do this. So please bear with me. I am notoriously bad at multitasking, so talking while doing this, it might not be in the cards for me. I'm going to try, though. It would help if you guys said stuff. Keep it going. I'll just respond to anything in the chat. Oh, I forgot one thing I was gonna do, actually. Okay, so that's that guy. That's that captain. Okay. Options, settings, language, and region. But I have best match. So I guess central. North Africa would be funny. Problem is, there is no e-server, so... Okay, here we go. Alright, once again, here we go. I don't know what Festal Souls are, but I'm glad you believe in them. Twitch tits. It hurts me to say your name, by the way. Okay, so what I was gonna do is, during downtime, I was gonna read their Chair League's About page to you guys. This is what they post as their summary about their team. Okay, so let's see. Sergeant Hammer time. We are going to have fun and win! Voice communication required. Semi-weekly practice to be determined. A good fit is someone Diamond to Master. We practice 6 p.m. PST, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And they are Pacific time team, so they're West Coast. And LiT eSports, let's see what they have in their About. Wow, really short and succinct. The only thing they have is Fire Red in their About. Alright. Alright, so I like LiT. They're not complaining. I mean, it is hard to play on a lot of lag, so I like them. They have a tank. They have Zarya. Come on. And whoever gets Divine Shielded is a tank. So it looks like they reconfigured their opening a little bit. And they sent Tyran mid right away, and they sent Li Ming down bottom. Now, Li Ming is pushing out this lane, and I've addressed this before, but it is actually not beneficial to push the lane when you're by yourself at the beginning of the game and no one else is in your lane. If she had just left it, if she didn't do anything except soak and just kind of dance around, even using slash dance perhaps, she could have denied 2 or 3 creeps here. But because she pressed buttons, she denied 1 creep before the enemy got there, so just a tip to players. I know it's hard not doing anything when you're standing there, and it looks like they're gonna miss soak actually in return, so their rotation not quite as clean as Sergeant Hammer's times so far. But I mean, we see it's super close, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, we see Power Hungry for Li Ming, which is fine. Like, any of her level 1 talents are fine, except for Aether Walker, I guess, most times. But even Aether Walker can... You can argue for Aether Walker, so... no problems there. The Owl build probably coming out from Tyrant. Of course, it's very good here, because you can stall the altars with it from a million miles away. Looks like 3-4 people are here. They find Li Ming in the... Oh, she misses his power slide though, so... But Li Ming just has to run away, and then this leaves a 3-on-3 up here, but it looks like Sylvanas is very separated. Kerrigan misses her combo, unfortunately, so this is gonna be a problem. This is an advantageous spot to fight in for Hammer, but LiT managed to get there first, but now they're just getting pushed out. Zarya is building up some energy though. She only has half. Oh no, wow, look at all that damage from Tychus, all that AoE coming out. And, well, the 2 tank lineup is pretty strong early on, apparently, especially with the Malfurion. Now, Kerrigan is also notoriously strong in the early game, but we saw that she missed her combo, so that was very important damage they didn't get out. And even with kind of 2 supports, Tyran won't do a lot of damage until... I mean, a lot of healing until later, but... Oh, Li Ming almost gets caught down here, but nice play from her to dodge the gank. I was saying Tyran will not get a lot of healing done until later if she takes the cooldown talents, and... then she could heal more often, but until then her heal's kind of weak. she has to be damaged to get full value out of it. Zarya is caught here. Kerrigan does pull in 2, but it's not gonna save Zarya, I don't think. Uther is out of mana. I think he's sticking around because he's greedy for the globes, and he was actually low on mana from just the altar phase, but he chose not to back, and this kind of cost him the kill. She just didn't have mana to heal. Of course, he did have very very high cooldowns as well. That's one of Uther's weaknesses. So could be that his spells were on cooldown. I didn't catch the whole fight. Let's see. Elune's Grace for Malfurion makes total sense. A long-range move fire will help with the goaltending on this map. Master Assassin for Tychus. Makes sense. There aren't any really great targets for bigger they are. Amplified Healing for Johanna. Okay, so they're just positioning around this altar early, and Zarya is caught once again. She needs to be a little bit more aware of her cooldowns. I wonder how much they've practiced with Zarya. Doesn't seem like she's playing carefully enough around her shield cooldown. Like, once you pop your shield cooldown, you can step forward a little bit, but if they're kiting backwards and not attacking you, you need to just go away. It looked like they did exchange kills here mid Kerrigan for Sylvanas, and now Zarya is back, but Sergeant Hammer Time has already gotten that tower, so you see a slight 8 damage lead for Sergeant Hammer Time, and it looks like they took half of this bottom wall as well when they were down here ganking Li Ming. So here, so Zarya is a little bit wiser here. You can see she's moving back with her shield, knowing that a root and then a follow-up stun from Mirrodin will kill her like before. And another missed Kerrigan combo. The double stun coming from Mirrodin. Oh goodness. To me, it seems like Sergeant Hammer Time is a lot cleaner with their play right now. It seems to me that LiT eSports is perhaps have some heroes they're not as familiar with. They are getting caught in this choke though. That's very dangerous. Kerrigan does hit her combo on Mirrodin, but cannot kill him. Of course, he's one tough dwarf. But even despite all the kill advantage, 4-1, and half a wall going down here, they are missing a lot of soak, it seems, and they're about half a level ahead, but it's nothing that LiT can't handle. They can definitely come back from this kind of lead, and it looks like the next altar is spawning before 10, luckily for them, so they can fight on an even footing. I wonder if Johanna is staying top a long time to try to get them closer to 10 before the fight, but it opens up a window. If they can try and force a fight before Johanna gets here, they can take a 5-on-4 fight, but they're taking too long, and Johanna's going to be here. Li Ming taking some damage from the back. She needs to find a different angle. Like, coming from the front is not going to do too much for her because of the double tank situation. Okay, so they just give up that tower. Still not the most dire situation. I mean, you obviously... Oh, jeez. Li Ming's face-checking her mercenaries. Zarya is going to end up paying for it. The Twilight Dream going out on top. They used 4 heroics to secure that kill on Zarya, so when she comes back up, assuming they can soak to 10, LiT can try to take a fight to catch up here with their heroic advantage. They have to do it relatively soon though, and it doesn't look like they're grouping up to do that, so looks like Kerrigan is going to get caught. She is okay. There was no follow-up route from Malfurion, so luckily for her. But yeah, you can see Sergeant Hammer Time is not missing their skill shots, whereas it's harder for LiT to execute their lineup. They have harder skill shots to hit, I guess, is the main thing. Lunar Flare and the Kerrigan combo. Now they've set up a party bush here. I like this, trying to go on Mirrodin. Nice dodge from Mirrodin. Dodges the Kerrigan combo, but he still gets picked. That Hunter's Mark doing a bit of work. This this Starfall is a little bit weird. Starfall is so useful in those chokes where you know the opponents have to fight it into you later on in the altar or something. So if that doesn't come back up before the altar, and it looks like it won't, that is a big cooldown to not have. Okay. Yeah, so I was saying if they can soak level 10, then they would have had a heroic advantage because 4 of the heroics are down on the side of Hammer Time. Okay, so can LiT finally win an altar? Their main ultis are down, Divine Shield and Starfall, so, and every one of them is up on the side of Sergeant Hammer Time, so they need to be super careful about how they want to engage this. They already got the bottom one. They sent Malfurion down there, which is an interesting choice, and it looks like is the Odin coming out from Tychus, which is not surprising. Oh, Sylvanas actually came in from behind to snipe down Li Ming. That's a great tactic there, and Zarya is just not the tankiest tank, so she goes down after her shield's done. 3 go down, and another altar for Sergeant Hammer Time. Now, I said comebacks can happen in this game, on this map especially, but this is starting to snowball out of control. I think LiT will have to try and make more plays like that party bush they made mid, but they need to do it just before an altar phase. Try and catch someone rotating to the altar. Okay. So, how are they going to handle it? They have a level 13 advantage. Now all the ults are up for LiT, so the next fight, assuming they fight relatively soon, will be okay. But if they commit all their heroics now, well, if they save boss, it might be worth it. But like I said, they need to win a fight before an altar, get a pick before an altar. And wow, Li Ming's just standing here. This is very dangerous. She's not going to be able to stop this boss, so, and she's not really getting any XP here either, so it would have been wiser for her to go mid and soak or something like that. But they are fighting on even talent tiers now, so let's take a look. Burning Rage, Ice Block, Neo Steel Coating for extra sustain, or extra, survivability, life drain, okay, that's weird, and Thunderstrike. Sorry, I don't mean it's weird, it's not standard. Usually you see Windrunner or Will of the Forsaken at that level, but life drain is perfectly fine too. Okay. Level 13 Shrink Ray, they go double Shrink Ray. And oh, they actually went Lunar Blaze at level 7 for Tyrande instead of the Momentum, so interesting all around. Of course, it does keep her safer. Okay, Ray Ryan. I'm gonna turn on my Do Not Disturb. Glass Cannon, Double Strike, and Endurance Training. Okay. Oh, looks like Uther gets caught though. Wow. Right in his doorstep. That's really bad because the 3 altar phases coming up. Of course, the 1st and 5th altar phases are the 3 level ones, and they just don't have a lot of lockdown, as you can see. Sylvanas just kind of does whatever she wants. Once Kerrigan blows her combo on someone, Sylvanas is pretty much completely safe unless she somehow runs into a Tyrande flare. And nice ult coming up from Zarya though in that choke, but Li Ming has to back up once again. I do like her Glass Cannon pickup here at 13 because they are quite behind and you need a lot of damage to try and catch up. Nice kill from Tyrande down here on a one-on-one with Sylvanas. That Hunter's Mark doing so much damage and the Starfall zoning her so that she can hit it. And now they finally get an altar. This is, looking up. It's an improvement. They are very far behind. They're only down to three points on their core, so even Escorted Pumpkins can win the game for Sergeant Hammer Time, and they're down a talent tier right now, about a level and a quarter behind. So they're forcing the fight though, on the other side of the map, they do have Divine Shield. Kerrigan needed to turn a little bit faster as soon as she realized Malfurion was in the ice block, but looks like they're getting a lot of damage done. They're just outnumbering them. Sylvanas was still dead, so even the Twilight Dream couldn't save them, and 2 go down. This is exactly the type of play that LiT needs. Very good shot calling at this moment. They do leave Zarya alone at the bottom though, and she has to go heal so that they can fight again. Without Divine Shield, it's going to be hard, so they might want to wait for that, but they need to keep the pressure up now. They cannot let anything... like, they need to have advantage going into the next altar phase as the altar spawn. That's the only way they can come back. Relying on trying to win every altar fight at every altar, especially when there are multiple altars now, when you only have 3 hit points on your core, is very risky strategy. So, okay, you see still 20 seconds left on Divine Shield. It's barely doesn't sync up if they have to fight beforehand, so they need to kind of stall this out. Now in exchange we see Twilight Dream and Odin are still down for Sergeant Hammer Time, but Sergeant Hammer Time has altars to give. They can like not fight this if they don't want to. Nice route here, scouting them out. Of course, this is a very common standing spot. It looks like 3 of the Sergeant Hammer Time members are in the choke though, and that's very dangerous. If Zarya lands an ult right here, she could catch 3 and they'd be in a lot of trouble, but it seems like she doesn't. She actually holds it for some reason and she dies. She does manage to get it out just before she dies, and that kills Malfurion at least. Kerrigan trying to chase down Sylvanas will not be able to do it. Uther barely managed to keep herself up. Nice job, and now there seems to be a bit of a damage problem coming for Sergeant Hammer Time because of their 2 tanks they chose. Okay, well, they win this altar. And it looks like they're holding for some reason. They're not really close to getting any tower. Okay, so they're just going to try and get mid fort before capping, which is very wise, of course. Very good maximization of their time they have. So if they can get it, it's getting really, really close. And it looks like actually Johanna takes bottom fort, so it actually ended up not doing anything for them. They got the same number of shots as before. Are they baiting the boss? I would like to see a boss bait here. That would be interesting. But no, okay. They're just gonna try and take back their fort and then ready up for the next altar fight, which they have just proven they can win. Now at 16 we see Righteous Defense. Interesting. It's good talent though. I like it. Ranger, so just going full owl here. Never go full owl. It's aggressive defense. Fireflies, interesting. And oh, and of course she went orbs. Okay, for 4 and 7. So this is a very interesting mix build from the Li-Ming. Another great Graviton Surge. Wow. That Zarya is really on point with his Graviton Surges. Just catching 2 all day, right in front of their tower. Gives them advantage, and now the Li-Ming reset should come in. Just she have another Calamity and combo. Nice zoning route coming up from the Malfurion, and it looks like they successfully disengaging, only losing 1. Very impressive play coming out from Sergeant Hammer Time. That looked like it should have gone way worse for them. And this boss is super risky. Oh my goodness. The exit boss when we're all at half health and the enemy was not, but they knew they were working for a numbers advantage and they are very far behind, so taking risks is what they need to do. So I really like this kind of shot calling. It's you know, you either lose suicidally or you lose beautifully. It doesn't matter, you're still gonna lose, so you might as well lose in a way that gives you the best chance of coming back. You have to say in your mind, what needs to happen in the game for my team to win at this point? And even if it seems crazy, Even if it seems it's not regular Heroes of the Storm, you gotta do it. You gotta create the situations where that thing can happen. So, and oh my goodness, Uther just getting too greedy. Why? Oh my goodness, they only have 2 or 3 people standing here, and one of them was channeling. That was a sudden and anticlimactic end to this. You know, they were coming back. They got the 14 of the last shots, and they suddenly kind of threw it away. They should have just sat behind and not tried to capture that with 2 people. Like, just prevent other people from capturing it. But they should have known that they would have no chance to capture themselves with only 2 people. So, well, unfortunately, we didn't see an amazing comeback. We did see that they did stabilize a little bit, though, but Sergeant Hammer Time just got off to such an early lead, winning all those early altars and getting to 10 first, taking advantage of that, and then kind of just their lead was too big at that point. It's very hard to come back on this map when, you know, you're down to 3 or 4 health, because one altar will lose it for you, and then multi-altar phase, then you're kind of screwed. So, okay, we see Li Ming did a lot of damage, no surprise there. No one had a 0 death game, so no 0 death shoutouts for either team. We see Sylvanas, of course, no surprise, doing the most siege damage. And yeah, so no really standout numbers here. It was just great team play. I think, like I said, I'm not sure how familiar Unknown Soul is with Kerrigan, but she seemed to miss quite a few combos. And if some of those earlier on had gone differently, if she had hit them, they got a couple more kills and they were the first ones to 10, I think this game definitely could have gone differently. Someone's asking for my Twitch. Let's give this to them. So, thank you to the players for playing. I'm just going to put up the talents so you guys can see them. Thank you to the players for playing. Thank you for you viewers for watching. Remember to hit the follow button if you enjoyed the cast. VODs will be up on YouTube. Remember my Extra Life campaign. Donate, spread the word, or tune in. Any help in any way is appreciated. So, thank you very much once again. I will see you next week for more Cheerly casts. I might stream later on, or Friday, or tomorrow, or on the weekend if I'm playing at night. I usually do. So thank you very much, guys.